Hey guys, it's Bruce from UBAD. Wanted to go over the PDBs that we're offering now, the mini PDB and also the Katana PDB. Now the Katana PDB comes standard with the Katana frame. It's also offered as a replacement, and I know some guys are buying them to use on other X frames. Now the PDBs themselves are identical in features and identical in the way that they're pinned out for your selectable voltages. The only difference being is where the ESCs connect to the PDB. With the mini PDB, you have your negatives here and here, and you have your VBATs here and here, they're positives. Then on the sides here, you have your 5 volt, your ground, and a 12 volt. These are filtered power and they're constant 5 volt or 12 volt. On the other side, you have selectable voltages for the camera, which is 12 volt or 5 volt depending on how you have it selected. You have your video transmitter, which is 5 volt or 12 volt, and then this pad here is for your OSD. Now what you want to make sure that you do is that if you have no OSD, you will solder these two together. So again, if you have no OSD, which is probably going to be 90% of the people, you want to solder these two together, which will be exactly the same as the Katana. You'll solder the no OSD together, and then you'll have your selectable 5 volt 12 volt and your selectable 12 volt 5 volt for the camera. Now when you do that, if you do have an OSD, then you'll want to just leave those open, and all it's doing is it's transferring the way that the video signal for the video out is being displayed. That way your OSD comes over here and there's no interference when you don't have an OSD. That's the basic premise of the OSD. On the top you have a ground out, and then you have your OSD video out, and then that's how you're going to get your data to the OSD. It's pretty simple once you get down in there and you see how everything's going. That's the basic features of the mini PDB, and then also you have the back side with pads on it as well. So if you're going to mount it here, you can put your wires below if that's how you choose to build your frame. Now the only other additional feature of the Katana PDB is the addition of a buzzer. Now the buzzer comes with the Katana PDB. When you get the buzzer and you have it installed, you'll just push the 2 pins through and solder those down. Now once that's done, you just flip it over, solder these bad boys in there, clip them down, and you'll be good to go. Once that's done, what you'll do is you'll want to use some small gauge wire. You could probably put the small gauge wire on beforehand. That just gives you more room to work with. But you'll want to put some small gauge wire here, and that small gauge wire is what's going to jump over to your flight controller buzzer outputs, and that's what's going to control the buzzer. Let me get that out of the way. Now you also have holes here. These holes are large enough for an XT60. Obviously they're not straight lines or T's for a Dean's, so we chose not to include an XT60 with the package. One, it reduces costs, and it also gives guys the option that need an that are using Dean's to not waste money on an XT60. Now to put this in, it's pretty easy. You're just gonna kind of angle it, is what I found was the most simple way to do it, and then that's the smallest spot on in the holes, and then it slides right in, and it fits pretty tight. And then you're just going to want to put some solder on there to hold it down. Now the alternate method of doing this is to use maybe an inch of wire and then have it separated from the PDB a little bit, and that just gives you some flex. So if you are to strike the ground or anything like that, then you have some play in the XT60 to where it's not going to snap the PDB. So the way that you install it is all going to be up to you. But that's the basic features. If you have any questions, just go ahead and jump to the UBAD Facebook page, and we can answer it there, or just open up a help desk ticket and then we can answer your questions over there as well. I hope you enjoyed the 2 new products, and have fun out there.